the drinks are on my mind. The decision sets in. One love will turn your skin. The love is right. Let them have their time. And I have this notion, let's keep these wheels in motion. In motion. For that I did not know. Did you think I would let it go? Oh no. And in time, yes, I'll think it's absurd. But until then, you'll leave your words. Play on. Play on. Now it's time to defend your lies. Lies you've been feeding me all this time. And will you reoffend? Oh darling, you say that you are innocent, but your words, they seem irrelevant, but still play on. Now it's time to defend your lies. Lies you've been feeding me all this time. And will you reoffend? Oh darling, oh you have reached your lover's end. No more will we make pretend like we something to fight for. Oh. We had nothing to fight for. 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 you wanted was love, but that was never enough. No, never enough. 'Cause you were chasing your dreams, now you can't redeem yourself. 'Cause you were chasing your dreams, now you can't redeem yourself. Disregarding your name, your smell is all that remains. They say you're an SLUT, but that doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't sit well with me. I remembered what you'd say. We're all looking to be loved. And somehow, someday, we'll find what we're looking for. Till then, you'll still be a boy. Don't tell me who I have become. Don't tell me who I have become. I remembered what you'd say. We're all looking to be loved. And somehow, someday, we'll find what we're looking for. Until then, we'll all be yours. We'll all be yours. We'll all be yours. Don't tell me who I have become.
Good evening, race fans. Pirate here. Black Flag Racing TV, you know that because you're tuned in. Something brand new for us all this evening. Hello to everyone in chat. We will get round to catching up with you shortly. This is the ZFS Racing World Series Season 4. Broadcasting from Lobbies 1 and Corentis over in Lobby 2, over in Studio 2, waving. We're not really next door to each other, that would be ridiculous. But it's whole brand new. ZFS Racing is essentially a game within a game. It is an online career mode, and I wish I'd invented it. It's freaking brilliant. We'll talk more about it later, but it is the opening round of the World Series. How about that then? Seamless, wasn't it? No, it wasn't seamless. I realised as I went to put it on that I hadn't added it to my stream deck, and I went to press the button and it wasn't there, so I had to do it manually. Boom shanker. Teething problems, teething problems, teething problems. Right, we'll join the lobby soon. Hello to Amsterdam. Thanks for getting this all up and running, mate. It's been a nice to meet you. We get to see race finally. Good evening to Lazy Dutchman and who else is in there? Ilron and Edinburgh Lad. Edinburgh Lad, I've raced with you. Who else? Omega. Yeah, good evening. Keep the chat coming. Don't forget to, obviously, if you're watching, you're subscribing, but don't forget to hit the like button and share it to the world. Let's get ZFS out there. Let's get Black Flag Racing out there. So, here we go. That's the lobby. That's who is and what is what. So essentially, it is season 4, round 1. It says Wednesday, 14th of February. That was because we didn't do it last week. Well, they didn't do it last week because Arby. Sorry, hello Arby. How you doing? Arby, the brains behind the operation. So I've been told. It does say February the 14th. It didn't happen last week because everyone was making love, sweet, sweet love, and didn't want to race instead. Don't know why. I'd rather be doing this. I'm joking, of course. She can't hear me. Right, round 1, Nürburgring Sprint, 30 glorious laps, 10-minute qualifying, and they have to use the medium and hard compound tyres. Should be, they're using GR4 cars. The way it works, we'll go over the season, we'll talk about ZFS and how it works. I'm still getting my head around it, but essentially it's an online career mode for GT7. Got about 4 minutes before we start, so we've got time to do that. And within that you get ZFS credits to buy cars and garages and stuff like that, and the more you race, the more you earn, and sponsorships, etc. And you can get better cars and better cars and better cars. This is GR4. You can use a GR4 car from your garage, so you have to have either bought it or rent it for use in this series. But we will go into more detail later on. One way you can earn money is through the predictions. So they look at the drivers, they look at how they've performed, and they predict where they think they will finish. And it is a shake your booty, shake your booty, shake it all the time. His name's different on there. It's got to shake. We'll find him anyway. I've got a guide to what they're actually called. It's Mitiadas, I think it is, something like that. We'll get there. He's predicted to win this race. With Hall behind him and Amsterdam. I'm going to call him Amsterdam loads, aren't I? Amsterdam in 3rd. We'll have a look afterwards and see roughly where they kind of slotted into that. I have noticed we've got an extra Crazy Taff. I'm assuming he's Welsh. Is joining us as well. There's no prediction for him, but I reckon he's going to be pretty racy. So you can see everyone coming into the room there. 10 minutes qualifying. Now I expect they're going to be qualifying. I assume they qualify on the medium tyres. You wouldn't want to do it on the hard, surely. And I expect it to probably be, with the settings, you can see the settings there, probably going to be a one-stopper. I reckon you could probably get these GR4s 16 laps into this race, depending on how you look after your fuel, of course. And the tyres, the mediums should last 15 laps without a problem. It's obviously just trying to find the grip with the hard tyres afterwards. They do have to use both compounds. So I imagine it's going to be a one-stopper. I reckon qualifying time, we're probably looking somewhere in the mid-32s, maybe low 32s. 132s, that is. If you did this in 32 seconds, you're something special. But there or thereabouts anyway, I reckon. But we'll soon see. Qualifying starting in a couple of minutes' time. So, as I said, ZFS Racing, it is a meta game. It's a game within a game. So, you see this on up. You see there's zfsracing.co.uk. Go in there, just put your details in, and you join up straight away. You get 100,000 credits in which to buy a car. I've done it. I just haven't bought a car yet. Or you have to buy a garage, and you have to buy a car, and you start competing in that car in the series. And they race on a Monday, a Wednesday, and a Friday, which is perfect for me because I broadcast on a Monday and a Wednesday. Well, actually, I race on a Monday already, and I broadcast on a Wednesday and a Friday, and a Saturday, but that's a mute point. So I may find time to race with them, but who knows? As you guys know, I'm incredibly slow anyway, and it's difficult to find a lobby with people around my pace because most people that are my pace don't race online because we're not very good at it. You know what they say? Those who can race, those who can't, call those who can race a bitch on YouTube. Essentially, that's how we do it. Quentin is over in lobby 2. Feel free to go and watch him as well. In fact, put both up. Put one on your TV and one on your phone, and listen to both at the same time. Give them both a like, give them both a thumbs up, and etc. etc. Yeah, do get involved with ZFS Racing. It does look like a brilliant concept. A couple of drivers in here that I know I've raced with Stu Shelton, because Stu's when I started Black Flag way back. A couple of years ago now, getting on for a couple of years. Stu Shelton was one of our first ever members, so he was there from pretty much the outset. Raced with us a little bit, and then he went on his way. I think Edinburgh Lab was around for a while as well. I don't recognise that. I don't think I've raced with anyone else. I might have done. They might have changed their name, but we'll get to see what these drivers are all about in terms of the cars. And I apologise, I've got this alarm goes off at 9 o'clock every night, and I keep meaning to turn it off, and I forgot. We've got the Veyron out there. The Veyron, I don't know how strong the Veyron's going to be around here. Good in a straight line, not so great round the corners. We've got the Aston Martin V8. We've got that AMG Mercedes, which you'll learn over time is my favourite. I love that GT car, and I'll keep going on about it until Mercedes send me one for free. Crazy Taff's also going to be in that AMG. We've got the Cayman Club Sport, Stu Shelton in that. Some more of that AMG. Another favourite of mine is that Alpha 155 V6. Brilliant car that. And room's being prepared, so that means that we're going to be qualifying soon. A couple of people playing on PSVR 2. Can't get on with it. I've tried it. I don't own it. I have tried it, but it's not really my thing. Okay, so I think qualifying is going to be starting pretty soon, so we can crack on. I'm good at filling in holes, aren't I? Yeah, good luck to everyone, as Amsterdam said there on the chat. Good luck to everyone. I'm looking forward to a good race here. Really good race. This is the Nürburgring Sprint layout. The Sprint layout, as you know, is the shortest of the several layouts at the Nürburgring. Sprint circuit is 2.2 miles, just over 3.6 kilometres for the Europeans among us. 12 turns. It says 12 turns. You'll learn over time that I don't consider it to be a turn if you don't have to brake. It's only a turn if you brake for it. If you go flat out, it's part of it. It's a bendy straight. So there's a little bit less than 12 turns. Lap record round here is way back in 2014 with a Kimiya Sato from Japan. You know, the game kind of gives that away. That was a 1 minute 19 at the 32. They're going to be nowhere near that close in these cars. I imagine we're looking, as I said, low 132, low to mid 132s. Or thereabouts. I think everyone's just checking in, and then we can get qualifying. We were looking at the cars, weren't we? What else we got? We got the 155 Corvette C7. That's a strong car. Requires strong will as well, because the back end of that likes to step out a little bit if you're not, or if you are too brave with that loud pedal. But we'll see what we'll see. Well, what we'll do during qualifying, we'll do it on board with somebody, and so we can get a feel for the track and what have you. And how's your father? Dean, how you doing, man? Good of you to join us. I'm sure you've watched a broadcast or two of mine before. I like to think I remember people's names, but genuinely I don't. I will forget things week in, week out. Over the course of the season, obviously, I'll get to learn who people are, and I'll be doing things off pat and all that, and we'll get there. But do keep me informed. If I mess anything up or get anything wrong, do feel free to correct me. I'll probably call you out for being a muppet for doing it, but I'll do it. But I'll be happy with it anyway. We are just waiting for Jax and Schmergen to sign in or tick in, and then once they've ticked in, we can get cracking. So we were expecting 13. We ended up with 14 with the addition of Crazy Taff. Wonder how quick Crazy Taff is. Is he top end, I wonder? We haven't got a prediction for him, so we don't really know where he's going to slot in as yet. We obviously know who we should be looking out for. We certainly should be looking out for Amsterdam. We should be looking out for, what's his name? I've forgotten his name already. Shaky Booty in that AMG. Qualifying to begin shortly, so we can jump across in a moment to qualifying. I've got my keyboard. Just checking I have my keyboard plugged in. That would be an absolute travesty if it wasn't. So here we go. So qualifying is beginning. Why is that not changing? Press the wrong button, that's why. There we go. I need all my info up. Come on, PD, sort yourselves out and give me this stuff standard, man. Schmergen and Crazy Taff are dropping. Okay. I'm assuming dropping. You can drop in as long as there's space. Right, okay. How are they in terms of, so in terms of the championship, are they? Are they fully involved in the championship, or as drop in, drop out, is there different criteria for them, or is it a case of they've dropped in and now they're in, kind of thing? So Amsterdam is out first, so we'll do the on board with him. Do like the livery on that. They are split into individual teams, and it's not teams in respect of like some of the competitions you see here on Black Flag, which are team competitions. They're teams within teams, if that makes sense. So they have it's part of the kind of career mode is you can have your own race team within that career mode, and some of the drivers have those race teams, and they have drivers that drive with them and stuff. But as I said, what we'll do, actually, I think what we'll do is we'll make a little segment. Okay, so they get, so right, so they don't get season points. Anyone that can't see the chat. So essentially, the drop-in drivers, of which in this race we've got, where is he? Crazy Taff there, in that AMG. Oh, I love that livery, man. That is so cool. And where is the other one? Schmergen. Which one was Schmergen? Is that Schmergen? It's the only annoying thing with their names being different. I think that's Schmergen. Or maybe not. Yeah, so basically the drop-in drivers don't get points for the championship, but they get paid for the race, which kind of slots into the career mode things. They still earn some money, which they can use to buff up their coffers. So it's all good. But what we'll do is, we'll do a little segment before each race starts each week, where we explain how Ruby Roo, wishing good luck to Amsterdam. We'll explain how it works and so hopefully by the end of the season you'll have a much better understanding of ZFS and what it's all about. It may be that you sign up before then and they pay me a massive commission and I can retire on Tuesday next week. Right, so we'll go on board with Amsterdam in a minute, because he's going to be doing we're going to be doing the lap on board with him. Come on, get the keys right. There we go. I've got my keyboard. Why am I not using it? There we go. So up the hill we go. This is where you're going to start to line up your lap into the chicane. This is part of the main GP circuit, so it always features. This is where you start to line up your lap. Very, very key corner, the final corner here. You get it turned in second gear. Clip the apex before you get on that power. Use all that road, and you can use loads of that road on the way out. And then you're heading down the hill under the sheer driving pleasure sign. That'll give you your start time, and off we go with an on-board lap, and we'll start to see the times are tumbling very soon. Into turn one, biggest braking zone of this circuit. Get it turned in first gear. You've got a lot of road to use on the exit, but you're almost straight into another braking zone, and you've got to be so patient as you sweep round this left-hander, and be careful of track limits as you come around there. All the wheels go across. You have abused those track limits again. Another little touch of brake, again another little touch of brake, and then you can power down. And usually you would go off round to the left-hand side at full belt, but here you're braking just before that 50-metre board. Get it turned in, clip the apex just slightly. It's almost a double apex right-hander that turns back on itself, and up the road you go. Round to the left-hand side here again. That's another tricky corner. Lift here for this right-hander, and then up the hill for the long blast up to the chicane. So based on rating, Schmergen should be finishing P5 and Crazy Taff P14. Interesting. We will see. I mean, P13. Okay, we'll have a look. we'll have a from what I've seen of I had a little sneaky peek at practice, and I've certainly had a look at the how they're sitting for qualifying at the minute. Crazy Taffy's already exceeding the expectations. There we go. So that essentially, there's your lap around the circuit. But how are we looking in terms of current positionings? There's Shake Your Booty. He's currently on pole, 1:32.4. I said, what did I say? I said a mid 32, and straight away he absolutely busts that wide open with a 1:31.8. That's a super qualifying time on medium compound tyres, and that puts you, that's 6/10 clear of Zoonji's. I'm assuming that's Schmergen. Zoon. It's called Zoon. He is on that front row at the moment, but only hanging on for dear life, with Amsterdam really, really close on his heels. Baldrick very close to him as well. Nothing separating them in a minute. 7/10 separating the top four. But when you consider 6/10 separates the top two, well, half a second now separating the top two, as Baldrick puts himself onto that front row, busting those guys down. Tino, he's really close as well. It's only 400ths of a second between him and Dan. 7,000ths of a second. That's Tiger, I call. To be fair, I've got two screens up. I probably need another one to remind me. I reckon by the end of next week, I will probably remember pretty much most of them. I might not. I struggle to remember some of my children's birthdays, to be fair. So let's not hold our breath, shall we? I have got 6 of them. Right, JJ there. Those of you who've watched a lot of Black Flag, it's not the JJ you're thinking of. He is 7,000ths of a second off the back of Tino. Not very much time for him to find to bust himself up a position. Shark there, 10th and a half back, with another 10th and a bit to Edinburgh lads, who is a couple of tenths up from Stu Shelton, old Black Flag friend. 700ths from Crazy Taff, currently qualified in 10th position. Evil Cat not far behind him, although that penalty is not going to be a quick lap this time out. Jack's in 12th, and we've got Vesky there in 13th position. And it's all Brits pretty much, other than, of course, is that Sweden? Is Sweden? No, Norway. That's Norway. Norway and Greece, Sheikh Djibouti. And of course we've got the Dutchman there in Tiger. Yeah, to be fair, I'll get it. The biggest problem for commentators was the nickname thing that came in on GT7 that we didn't have on GT Sport. Is it kind of threw things up in the air, and the fact that people sign up Discord in different names, it throws it up. But I'll get there. Don't worry, I'll get there. To be fair, the people that are watching will probably be more interested in these names here, and we'll sort it out. It's not a train smash by any stretch of the imagination. In terms of the split between the front row and the back, it's 1.7 seconds, which in the scheme of Gran Turismo is not massive. If you think about daily racing, sometimes it's 1.7 seconds between first and second on the grid. So, I mean, 1.7 seconds between first and last on the grid is absolutely nothing. That is one incorrect gear change at a corner. That's one, back end stepping out around the chicane difference between, one driver and another. Arby, as you may well know, I don't just do this. I also run a racing team, and we run a multi-tier world championship. It's a massive headache. Actually, it's so much of a headache that this year we've actually, on the registration form, it was a requirement to not only fill in your Discord name but also your PSN, just so we could keep up with who was who and what was what. So far though, touch wood, it's been alright. We've only had one round, so plenty of time for things to go wrong, but so far it's been okay. A little bit more difficult with names as well, because we've got I think 17 or 18 different nationalities running in the series at the moment, so there's some crazy names in there, but there we have it. Is what it is. So I was saying, it's 1.7 seconds separating Jack's there in 13th, and Sheikh Djibouti on the front row. And we'll remind ourselves of where we expect people to be finishing. So at the moment, Sheikh Djibouti is very much performing as expected. Amsterdam, one position up from his expected position. So doing all right here at the moment. JJ, he is third. Him and Dan switched places. Dropped down from him. Edinburgh lad, he's pretty much up there as well. Tiger's way down the order a little bit actually, but further down than we expected. He's sixth. He should be up in fourth. Shark seventh, currently predicted to be fifth. Stu Shelton, he's a little bit away from expectation, but we'll see how we get at the end of the race. Not going to do it after this race, but we will, purely because we want to make sure that everyone's clued up with how it works and stuff like that, and we'll do that through Discord this week. But from next Wednesday, the top three drivers from Lobby 1 and Lobby 2 will join myself and Jack Crentis, the guy who does the broadcast for Lobby 2, in one big little kind of post-race conversation where we talk about whatever we want to talk about. You want to talk about your problems, have a little cry, you're quite welcome to do that. As we're just finishing up qualifying, just want to go over, just want to mention the Black Flag we support a men's mental health charity called the Proper Blokes Club. Do check them out. They arrange walks, and at the moment they're only in London, but they are expanding beyond London's borders. They arrange walks for men to meet up with other men, and they talk about their problems and that kind of thing. Basically trying to stamp out mental health one walk at a time. So shake your booty across the line. Dan's close, but is he going to be close enough to beat that time? No, he's not, but he's on that front row. Baldrick will be on row 2 with Tiger. Is that Tiger? Yeah, Tiger. JJ and Edinburgh lad there on row 3. Row 4 will be Shark and Tinio. Stu Shelton and Evil Cat on row 5. They round out that top 10. Crazy Taff and Vescu in 11th and 12th on row 6, and row 7 is Jax there, as I said, 1.7 off the lead. So that was a phenomenal qualifying time, that 1:31.8 from Shake Your Booty. But then saying that, I mean, Dan went a sub 32, Baldrick sub 32. Only Tiger was unable to get that sub 1:32 time. Very quickly we will bring up the result there, and there it is. Qualified. You can see there the two AMGs qualifying on that front row, the Vantage and the Veyron. I'm surprised the Veyron performed quite as well as it did. There on row 2, row 3, another couple of AMGs with that glorious Alpha 155, which will lose out on the straights here, but certainly will be a little bit quicker out the corners. It's got that real low end grunt. Shark in 8th in that V8 Vantage. Then we've got the Cayman Club Sport, the two more AMGs, very close together, the 2 Corvettes, not performing super well here. We've got a lobby cover page like that, but I do need to make another one for after qualifying. I've got a template for it, I just haven't got around to doing it, because mainly because I'm lazy more than anything else. You will always find that I will do as little as I possibly can for as long as I possibly can. Right, what are we waiting on? We're waiting on the race starting, and it is starting imminently. Looking forward to this 30 laps around here. We're looking at a pit window probably about midway point. I can't imagine that we are looking at anything other than a one-stopper here. Damage is on light, I believe, so it's not going to be a huge issue for that. But we will, let's have a look from here. And it is a full start check, of course. We always look back in 6th place to see if anyone crashes up ahead. That's 5 lights, they go out, and we are away. And it looks like a good start out in front, behind. Everyone seems to be away. It looks like Evil Cat's had a great start as they head down towards turn 1. Always a bit of squeaky bum time into turn 1. A little bit apprehensive. You can see them all stamping on the brakes a little bit earlier than they probably like to. But you just don't want to make, you want to make sure you don't plough into that car ahead. Everyone behind looks through safely, and there we have it. We are away. I'm going to turn off driver names. I like to have them off anyway, and kind of hope that I can keep up with who's who. Usually I've kind of memorised liveries and stuff, so I would know who's who and what's what. If I mess it up, oh well, is what it is. Shake Your Booty gets away in the lead. Dan's not going to want to let him go. He's going to want to keep the AMG tucked in behind. We'll show you what else we've got for the season that you can see. There's your tyre and fuel data which you can bring up, so we can see it. And I think pretty much everyone's going to be starting on medium compounds. I'm going to flick through the field very quickly and see if there's anyone who isn't on the medium compounds. And that'll be a no. So everybody's starting. Heavy damage. So, oh yes, of course, they've got an insurance system. We'll talk about that again, but they have an insurance system in place. If they do damage, they have to pay for the repairs, essentially, out of their coffers. But we'll go over that later. So you can see everybody on the medium compound size. Fuel-wise should pretty much last 15 laps. If you can make the fuel last 15 laps, it's a one-stopper for sure. Any big battles on the racetrack at the moment? Anyone under any real trouble? You can see there that JJ already having a little look at the back of Amsterdam. He's tucked right in behind. That's 3 AMGs in that top 3 there. You expect to see them performing quite well. It's a very, very good track for the AMG. It takes a very different line through there, almost clipping that rear quarter panel, but does get through. I was trying to put my foot flat, and there's a bloody dog toy underneath it. I don't know what was wrong with it. And that's a really good move up the inside. JJ making that move. He's got to get it done and hold it before they make this right-hander, and he does that. And Amsterdam dropping down into 3rd place. Going back to 4th, that's Baldrick. He's in the Aston Martin, first car not from Germany on this racetrack at the moment. Currently running in 4th. And Tino, watching it, he's not quite tucked in behind the Aston Martin in that 155, but getting a very, very good performance out of that very, very good 4-wheel drive car. But he's going to struggle. He's going to struggle. It's places like this. As he comes out of the corner, he's going to have absolute power and be able to pull away. But it's when it hits the top end, you'll see as they get towards the top of the hill, even with slipstream, you can see there almost already. You can see as they start to hit the top end of 4th gear, early 5th gear, the cars ahead just start to pull away. He really needs to make his advantage through the twistier section of sectors 1 and 2. Edinburgh lad dropping off the pace a little bit. He's in the other AMG. 1.9 seconds of gap now. Back to him in 6th with Tiger or Zuntis. I may as well call it as you can see on the screen, because otherwise you're just going to get confused. He is in VR2. He's and this will be the view from his car. That's not it. That's what he can see, kind of, except it's a little bit more flashy. It's got less stuff written on the screen. But currently running in 7th position in that Bugatti Veyron, which is the car that will, oh look at that, that's a flagrant flouting of track limits there for Edinburgh lad up ahead, and same for Zuntis as well. Stu Shelton in that Porsche Cayman, nippy little car. Not my favourite GR4 car, but a nippy little car all the same. Police flag just dropped over the floor. Evil Cat, he's also in AMG. AMG proving to be a very, very popular car here. And it just looked to me that Shark was just going to make a move there. He certainly stuck his nose alongside and said, I'm here. But he didn't quite get the move done. But the pressure on Evil Cat, you can see him just going off the racetrack there, trying desperately to stay ahead of Shark. Shark going to get a run on him in the Aston Martin, coming up the hill now as they head towards this tricky chicane at the top of this hill. This left-right chicane, which is a crucial braking zone when it comes to this circuit. In behind, he gets that change down to 1st gear, flick it over both curbs. You can absolutely abuse those curbs here. He's getting a good run. If he can get a good exit out of this final corner, and he's already having a little look up the inside, gets him, forces him a little bit wider than he probably wanted to go there. He couldn't cut in and defend the line. He's just put in his best lap of the race there. But can't find a way through into the braking zone. This is about big, massive cojones. Who's got them? And Sharky clips the apex. Can he get powered and away? He does, and he's up past Evil Cat. Evil Cat dropping down to 10th. Family 14, we'll have a look in a minute. Actually, once we settled in, we'll have a look at all the liveries, because I'm a big fan of Porsche liveries, to be fair. Not very good at making them, but a big fan of them. That is Jax. He's running in that Corvette C7. Really, really classy car, the Corvette. I like it a lot. Crazy Taff, he's also in that AMG. He's probably got my favourite livery that's out there. And Vesky there, also in that Corvette C7 for the Dead Bunny Racing lot. So shall we have a look at these liveries? We'll start with Vesky there. So he's gone for red and black is always going to be a firm favourite, that kind of metallic look with some There's the Dead Bunny. I'm assuming that Dead Bunny logo on the front is to do Dead Bunny Racing. There we go. This is the one I really like. I think the pink and black, absolutely, particularly on this car, because I love this car anyway. I think any livery on this car looks great. I think, in fact, this car could be upside down and covered in someone's blood and it would still be the best looking car on the racetrack. But that pink and black is absolutely fantastic. Jack's gone for something very, very classic, straight out of stock, mobile, should I say, Mobile 1 livery. Evil Cat, again, very understated Fanatec logos. We kept it very kind of conservative. Has anyone got a little bit kind of out there? That's really, really cool. That's very American inspired. As soon as you see that, you immediately think Mora for president. Wasn't there a film with a guy going for president called Mora? I think there probably was. KW Customs, he's gone for a very, very classic look on that Cayman, but indistinguishable Cayman from any other car. Loving that blue and black. I find it's really difficult to get a good looking livery on the Bugatti, but he's done a good job there. Really, really nice. Tino on the Alpha 145, he's essentially just gone for the kind of second kit on the Alpha Preston. Which one's Cal? Baldrick. Really, really disappointed that isn't splattered with pictures of Baldrick or something related to Blackadder on that car. Very disappointed. He's a nice livery all the same, and it's got a picture of me, the Michelin Man, because I'm fat and bald and I like cars. Love that kind of aqua blue that goes on with that black on that AMG of Amsterdam. JJ has gone for very classic black with that sort of deeper blue, and we've got another pink number. Do like this. I think I would have preferred it to be black at the front, but it is still pretty awesome with the plugging of the monster on the side there and a whole heap of other stuff down that left hand side, but still very, very cool. Right, shall we have a full rundown of where we're at? We're on lap 6 of 30, and there's not much change in terms of positions. We're all still pretty darn close though. Jack's the fastest man on the racetrack with a 1:32.3, and I imagine on these medium tyres, that's the sort of times we're going to be seeing in general, those kind of mid 32s, early 33s. Yeah, for me, I think you're almost right. I think for me, it's between that one and where's it gone? That one. I think this one edges it for me slightly. Why is the leader shaking his booty? Because he can. I think it does look a little bit laggy, but who knows? It could be the Greek connection. I know that there are some internet connections in Greece that suffer a little bit when it comes to a racing car. Racing anywhere, to be fair, but particularly on GT7. Yeah, it's the cars. I think the car makes it any livery look good, but yeah, right. So end of lap 7, 1:32.4 from Sheikh Djibouti. He is just over half a second up from JJ, just behind him, running there in second position. And if we have a look from, sort of Baldrick here in fourth, because you look back, it's 1.5 back to Tinio there. That's the battle up ahead for the top 3, and you can see that even after 7 laps, no one's really pulling away and dominating. You can see Sheikh is, trying to edge away. And I'll tell you what, there's a battle going on actually between Amsterdam and JJ, which interesting use of track limits. Tyres looking, I've got to say, we'll have a look actually at tyre wear, because I think that's going to dictate whether you can 1 stop or 2 stop this. And I think if you look at that there, clearly the tyres enough to 1 stop. But if you take a look at Baldrick, he has absolutely hammered those tyres in the Aston Martin. And we know the Aston Martin is not fantastic on tyre wear anyway, but he's going to have to stop. He's either going to have to stop twice, you get a free choice, but that's going to hamper you. He may not need to. It may be a case of we do a little splash and dash in each one and not do a full refuel. But you can see that that's really going to affect his track position when it comes to it. JJ there, he's not getting the best use out of his tyres either over Sheikh Djibouti out in the lead. Amsterdam a little bit better off, but not significantly so. So it's going to be about. I think these guys can manage these tyres to the end, or certainly to the first pit stop. But it's not all plain sailing. Of course, the hard tyres will last longer, but you'll see the lap times will tumble a little bit. The grip will go. Your braking points change slightly, and that's always a dangerous time. That kind of handover in the pits is that dangerous time when you're going on to tyres. You found your rhythm. You've just done 14, 15 laps on your tyres. You found your rhythm. You found that kind of point of grip. And although it slightly changes each lap as you lose the wear on the tyres and you lose the weight in the car, you still have that inherent kind of muscle memory from where you can brake and how you can push the car. And then you're going to put on tyres that, A, are harder and don't have the same grip profile, but also you're going to come out cold. They are going to last you longer, so they're not going to go off as quicker, but you're not going to be able to brake as late as you thought you could. You're not going to be able to get on the power quite as early as you think you can. But overall, you will not have to worry so much about looking after them in the second stint. So I suppose it's a trade-off, really, isn't it? So Sheikh Djibouti, we're doing a lot of the top three at the moment, but there is a really good battle going on here between these two. This is the view from Amsterdam's car, and it's kind of twofold, really. You're in this position, and all you can see is the back of another car, and you're giving it everything. Is that a little bit of rain coming in there? I just saw the windscreen wipers going. Now, I didn't think this race had rain forecast, and that is, you can see there, JJ trying to make a move on Sheikh Djibouti round the outside. Can he hold it and make that move stick? He has made that move stick, and we'll have a little look at that from his perspective, shall we? That's the one we wanted there. And you can see there, he gets the move done out at turn one, and he holds it round the outside, albeit using a little bit more of the track than probably was intended, but gets that move done, gets it done cleanly, and moves up into the lead of this race. Good racing from JJ. So I was about to talk about how the battle between JJ and Amsterdam could play into Sheikh's hands, could play into Baldrick's hands, and give them opportunities, and give Sheikh the opportunity to pull away, and Baldrick the opportunity to catch up. But JJ has put paid to that by putting himself up into the lead, and giving Dan now the opportunity to put some pressure on the Greek driver and see if he can hold him off. They're all going to be on a very similar strategy. They're in the same car, and it is BOP, so there's no real benefit gained from any tuning tweaks to the car. It is all going to be about driver ability here, and just where you brake and where you look after your tyres, and how you can find that consistency. And what you find with racing at this level is that it is consistency often that makes the difference. You're going to have the guys, and we'll give a prime example here at the moment. Jax is the fastest man on the racetrack, but he's back in 6th position. The guys out in front will be putting in their solid, look at that, you can see there, the grouping there for Amsterdam, for instance. There is not much separating. You have one poor lap on lap 9, which is 33.7. Yeah, 33.7. But pretty much throughout, you can see there's not much, half a second max really in those lap times. And that's the kind of consistency that puts you up in the top end of any field when you're driving. JJ very much the same with those mid 32s, churning them out lap after lap. 80%. So 80% you're saying that this is all in the hands of Djibouti, Sheikh Djibouti. Well, I mean, you've got to say, he's predicted to win it. And you've got to say on qualifying performance, absolutely. And if you're in the top three, you've always got a chance. The thing is, anything can happen. It's going to come down to, and I think if you look here, we'll turn the tyre and fuel off. I wanted to go through everybody's tyre and fuel before we get to the pit window. So we're looking here, though, we can see there that he's used a bit more fuel than Sheikh Djibouti, and I think it's times 5 refuel rate. And that's the key, is the fuel you've got left in your car. If you get to the halfway point and you pit on that halfway point, you know exactly how much fuel you need to get to the end of the race, because that's how much you've used. The more you have in your tank when you go in, the better off you are, because every second refueling the car absolutely makes a difference. So many times I see races where you think this guy's got it in the bag, and then you realise actually with the fuel That's not necessarily the case, and we can see here there is potentially a move there with JJ going quite wide there again. He seems to prefer that wider line through there. Do you think? Oh, okay. So Omega is calling the top three as the top three currently, with Sheikh, JJ, and Dan in third. Interesting prediction. Interesting. He's left the door. Oh, I was going to say that JJ had left the door open there up the inside, but Sheikh didn't take that opportunity. Oh, there we go. There's a mistake. He's on the grass. He does hold it. How much closer is Dan? Not close. He wasn't close enough to capitalise. But oh, sweet baby Jesus, that was close. When you go onto the grass there, you've got to be so careful. Any misinput in your accelerator, any misturn of the wheel, any kind of panic, and you are spinning like a Batman into the wall, and then your race is pretty much over. And of course, because they got the insurance system in place, they do not want to make a mistake. JJ gets nervous. Well, to be fair, you know, if you're mixing the top three, I think there are going to be, of course, there's going to be nerves, particularly if you're beating a guy that you don't often beat. But by the same token, if you can consistently race in the top three anywhere, nerves are a kind of minor factor. I can tell you now, I normally am racing, and there's no question that I wouldn't even be in this lobby. Not a question at all. No question at all that I would be in this lobby. But if I was, I would be at the back. And if I found myself at the front, I would be very, very nervous. Because I would absolutely cock it up. Anyway, there are other drivers out there. Let's go down the field a little bit. Let's let the top three get on with their battle. Because they are now 5.1 seconds back. And it's the plucky Alpha 155 driven by Tino that's holding off the pack. And I tell you what, I'm very surprised actually the performance he's getting out of this car. You can see his time dropped off a little bit. His tyres are struggling. I don't know if he's going to make it to the halfway point. You can see he's already under pressure from Jax, who still has that fastest lap set on lap 6. Tyres there may just about make it. It is going to be now about how well they can deal with tyres and nothing going on. Aaron NL is a Lobby 2 driver. Which one's that? Oh, Jimmy Netherlands. So that would be the guy at the back, because he's in the Netherlands, right? And then we saw Jack making that move on Tino. Relatively simple stuff as overtakes go. And you can see there up the hill with that power. And it's what I said, when you get into 4/5 gear in the Alpha, you lose so much to the cars around you. It doesn't have that kind of high rev, high end speed. Nothing comparative to what it's got out of the corners in the low rev range. You're Aaron NL Lobby 2 driver. That makes more sense. I'd be slower than you as well, mate. Trust me, absolutely trust me. I'm awful. I mean, to be fair, it's a double-edged sword, because I do much more broadcasting than I do racing, so I don't get to practice as much as everybody else does. So I suppose if I practiced more, I probably would be faster, but I wasn't fast, and a lot of the guys that I race with are super quick, so it's kind of better for me. I do race on a Monday, and I will be soon on a Sunday as well, but they're more relaxed, fun events without a level of jeopardy in it, and there are handicaps involved there, which give people like me a chance. So Tino back in 5th now in the Alpha. 2.7 is the gap to Shark. But behind Shark, Baldrick, who's dropped off the pace a little bit in that Aston Martin, has got Stu Shelton for company in that Porsche Cayman. And you can see Stu all over the back of Baldrick. And not in that kind of fun way, but in the he's troubling me and I might have to show a judge where he touched me kind of way. I'm really giving him a little bit of problems. And up the hill with that slipstream, Stu's having a look up the inside, does brake a little bit earlier, certainly thought about it, changed his mind, and probably rightfully so. It's a bit crazy for that, and he's coming in to pit on lap 13. So tyres wise, it's a problem, but he's got plenty of fuel, so not an issue. Shall we have a look at Baldrick tyres? Yeah, he is completely dead. He's holding it out there on the mediums. Now, considering that, I can see why he's holding it out, because I think fuel wise it would be touch and go making it to the end on those. But yeah, he's in big trouble, because at the moment he's 2.6 behind Shark. 5 seconds to Vesky, but you can see that time is tumbling. His tyre's in a much better condition, and he's really starting to close that gap on Baldrick. Baldrick needs to come in at the end of this lap if he wants any hope of not losing too much. Go to JJ. There is JJ. Yeah, his front left has gone. He's under pressure now from Djibouti. And you see Amsterdam just dropped slightly off, and that will be because he's nursing that front left tyre. Are they going to come in at the end of this lap 14 for that one stop? As Sheikh Djibouti makes the move. Now he's probably got another lap in those tyres. Side by side through that chicane. That is big kahunas, big brass ones going through there. But all three AMGs, it looks like the AMG race. And they're all staying out, which is, well, it depends. If you Sheikh Djibouti, not too much of an issue. There's still a bit left on that. If you're Amsterdam, you've got some white left on that tyre, not a huge amount. If you are JJ, you've got balls of steel, my friend. Up the inside goes Sheikh Djibouti, making that move. He hasn't got the grip that he needs now round these big right-handers, and it is going to cost JJ. It might have been worthwhile pitting at the end of lap 14 and just using a little bit of fuel saving, maybe in the first couple of laps, just to look after that car. This could go horribly wrong. Let's go down to the back of the field, because we haven't been down there for, well, really forever. Where are we going? Oh, we've lost the driver. Didn't see them leave the room. Crazy Taff is out the back there, 15 seconds off the pace. Well, they said 13th was predicted by virtue of someone leaving. That's given us a guaranteed 12th for him, so that's an improvement on where he predicted to finish. So bear with me 1 second. I quite often cough into the mic, but I felt that one coming in plenty of time. Crazy Taff, though, is somewhere off the pace. He has pit for his hard compound tyres, though. Shark, he's now on the... Now, hang on. I'm pretty sure I went through the field and everybody started on medium tyres. I could be wrong. Maybe he's planning on doing just one lap on hards. Who knows? Maybe that is the tactic that people are going to employ. I'm not sure what the rules are about that, whether they're required to just use medium and hards and use them as a proper stint. That's how I prefer it. I think if you put in hard tyres in a race, I think it goes against the spirit of what you're doing in order for people just to go in and do one lap on it. But some people just don't like using them. But they are part of the game. Talking of the game, there is Stu Sheldon. He's also gone back on those mediums. So it looks like, yeah, a lot of them are coming back out on those mediums. So it looks like they're going to run their hard tyres, but only run them for a very short period of time. Not a fan of that, but I suppose it is what it is. So into the pits is everybody. We'll have a look now, actually. Sheikh Djibouti, he's on his way out in the lead. Oh, it's no mandatory. I thought I had a feeling that it was mandatory hards and mediums. So they can just run mediums. Right, okay, so they can just use mediums. Well, then who would use hards if they don't have to? I don't know why I thought it was mandatory tyres. Maybe I read it wrong. Listen, it's only the first race, and I'm getting things wrong, and trust me, anyone that knows me knows I don't... Listen, a stop clock is right twice a day, and I'll live off those all day long. Sheikh Djibouti, he makes that to do. He made the jump in the pits, but he had plenty more fuel and tyre to work with. Amsterdam's also made the jump, and that's put JJ down into third. So that has put a little bit of a spanner into Omega's prediction. The top three changing around just a little touch. Stu Sheldon up to fourth place now, with the pit stops rolling as they have. That's proved to be quite a big jump for him. Baldrick there, remember, was up in fourth place at some stage. That's a phenomenal performance from Stu Sheldon. He's no slouch by any stretch of the imagination. 4.7 off the pace. But yeah, he's no slouch by any stretch of the imagination. And according to the timing screen on that right hand side, he has pit 5 times. We know that that's not the case. It's one of those things. Jack's there in 6th place. He's got a 1 second penalty, which isn't ideal. He doesn't need to refuel. He's just come out on those medium compound tyres in that Corvette. He's got that Corvette singing. We're just past the halfway point in this race, lap 17 of 30. And it has flown by, is it not? 25 minutes into the race, it has flown by. Right, let's turn this off. We know tyres people are running now. We don't need to be giving away strategies too much. And to be fair, I think these guys are at a level where strategy is going to have a little bit of a play, but not crazy. So the DJE family said JJ coming back to his spot. We'll see. We will see. He's 1 second off. Got a bit of work to do. They are pulling away from Stu Shelton. And he's already in a bit of no man's land. It's kind of a double-edged sword being in this position, because you haven't got anyone around you fighting you, so you can kind of just run your line. But it can get lonely out there, particularly if you see the car ahead disappearing off into the distance. You don't really see them. If we go on board, he can see, I mean, that's the guys he's chasing. They're well up the road. But even looking behind, it's very difficult to see the cars chasing him down. It can be quite a lonely race when you're in that position. Although it's much less lonely in fourth than it is anywhere else on the racetrack, of course. There's Shark there. He's in a very similar position to Stu. There's a bit of a gap between these cars. It would be good to see if these cars can kind of close up on each other a little bit. Tino there, 2.5 ahead of Jax, who no longer holds that fastest lap, a 32.0. A 1:32.0 from Sheikh Djibouti. The Greek. I tell you what, my experience of Greek drivers is that they're all bloody fast. I don't think I've met many slow Greek drivers. We race quite regularly with, and he actually used to race for us, a guy called Kevin 77. He's an absolutely phenomenal driver. And he's the head of the Hellenic Knights racing team, which is a Greek racing team. And everybody that races for them is super quick. And when I did a lot of stuff with Fusion, a lot of the Greek, I think it's Gran Turismo Greek community racing team, GTGC, every single one of their drivers was absolutely on the money quick. I don't know what's going on there. We'll have a look at Vesky as you want to. There's Baldrick there. He's 2.1 behind Jax. He is 3.2 behind Baldrick in that 155 Vesky. The Norwegian driver. It's Norway, isn't it? I always get mixed up. Sweden's the one with the yellow in it. Denmark's the one with red in it. So yeah, Norway is the blue one, I think. I stand correct. I'm quite happy to be corrected. I don't watch Sheldon's Fun with Flags. He went to check out his Z4. So Vesky currently 3.7 behind Baldrick. He's 2.8 ahead of Crazy Taff. Crazy Taff on the hard tyres, which seems quite crazy now. Finland. Thank you, Harvey. I will remember that. I get confused in Nordic countries, which is strange, because I'm 25% kind of that region. I did a DNA thing a while ago. I did like a genealogy thing where I actually traced my family tree back to like Viking invaders and all that kind of lot. So I should bloody know it, you would have thought, wouldn't you? 7.7 to Evil Cat. There's a battle going on there. Edinburgh Lad and Evil Cat at the back of the pack at the moment. And Evil Cat in a Mercedes. And it looks like the battles on the racetrack are between Mercedes drivers. Edinburgh Lad is 7/10 behind Evil Cat, or 1 second behind Evil Cat. And he's really putting some pressure on. Ruby Roo is rooting for Amsterdam. We'll have a look. He's currently running in second. I want to see if anything comes of this battle here between these two for the time being. I'll tell you what, I love this view. I want to do this because I like this particular view. I can't do it on my keyboard, but I do like this kind of sitting in the car and the almost like I'm in the passenger seat when the overtake happens, which would be absolutely well. It wouldn't be good for him. Asdan's bought a fan club. Well, some drivers do. Some drivers do. I did in fact I do it every year. I do a broadcast for a Le Mans 24-hour race for charity. No, I don't do the whole 24 hours. To be fair, the last one I did most of it. I don't do all of it. I run the broadcast, but we have a number of other commentators come in. And I remember there was a driver in there whose entire family spent the entire day, and we're talking, 3 kids and a wife and cousins and all that, and basically spent the entire day keeping me awake on the stream, having done I think I went to sleep at 2 a.m. and I was back broadcasting. Yeah, well, it was still broadcasting, but I was back commentating again from 8 a.m. And it was 8. So it was, it started. It was 8 ran from 8 p.m. to 8 p.m. And they were there with me all day. But it was a massive, it was like 100 members of his family or something crazy like that. It was absolutely insane. Crazy Taff getting rid of those hard compound tyres, and that's not a bad idea. In all fairness, that puts him to the back of the pack in 12th. We're losing drivers like crazy. We've lost one so far, which isn't bad in the scheme of things. This is still a battle raging on. Is Edinburgh Lad able to do anything? He's getting closer, ever closer to the back of Evil Cat, putting some pressure on. And it's when you see the car behind putting this pressure on, it can really play on your mind. It's when you start making mistakes, is that you're trying to find a way to stop the guy behind you getting through. You don't want to compromise your lines, but by the same token, you want to push that a little bit harder and try and open that gap up and take the pressure off. And that's when mistakes happen. He's indicating right. I don't know whether that means he wants him to an Edinburgh Lad gets it all kinds of wrong. And we'll see here just what went wrong for Edinburgh Lad. He's putting the pressure on. He was really putting that pressure on Evil Cat, and you can see there just that a little bit too early with the loud pedal there, and he gets just a little bit squirrely. And we can see if you don't let go of the throttle, you don't turn the wheel the right way, how wrong it can go. And I'm afraid to say, for the first time in this series, you can't park that there, mate. So Edinburgh Lad dropping off that pace. We can go back and have a look at the front three, and he's still in it to win it. Is Amsterdam? He's still running in second, and JJ now dropping off the pace of these front two a little bit. Fastest lap still with Sheikh Djibouti, and he's gone sub 32 with that 1:31.7, but Amsterdam sticking with him with a 31.8 to his name. Nothing separating them two at the minute. He's kind of relying on a mistake from Sheikh Djibouti at the minute. I love the name Sheikh Djibouti. I keep thinking Sheikh Djibouti, shake it all the time. Yeah, I don't sing often, and when I do, it's awful. Just having a drink, my throat's getting drier than the sand that we saw someone crashing a minute ago. Right, so yeah, JJ dropping off the pace a little bit. Let's be fair, this top three, absolutely dominant. They are now 10 seconds clear of the next best thing to the racetrack at the moment, and that is Mr. Stuart Shelton. The gap was quite significant over Shark, but it is closing down quite quickly as well. It looks like, if we look at the last couple of laps of Stu Shelton, and do you know what, I'm going to have a little moan about PD every time I come on, right? And there's one, right, is that he's gone across the timing thingy, while I was with him, and then I've had to kind of come off him and come back on him to get the correct time showing up there. Come on, man. You've literally shut down a massive server farm for GT Sport. Surely you've got capacity to improve this stuff now. Anyway, last few laps for him, he's comfortably in those low 133s, 133.1, 133.2, but Shark behind him in low to mid 32s, and that just means he's eating into that. It was a 4-second gap. He's eaten it right down to 2.2. There are 9 or 8 laps remaining, plus the little bit of this one. And at this rate, Shark will have him closed down within about 4 laps. And then we should start to see the battle. Of course, he's got to try and then find a way past him in Aston Martin, but he's going to have time to do it. And that's the thing you want to do. You want to get that gap closed as quickly as possible and then work on making the move. But he's got to, of course, make sure his tyres are up to the job when it comes to that stage. We'll give it a couple more laps. We'll look at about lap 25. We'll have a look at tyre deg for everybody and see where we're at and see if it makes any difference to where we think people are going to finish. He spun. Who spun? Oh, did we say Dan spun? Well, it looks there. I mean, 1.4 seconds now, the gap. We'll have a look at his laptop at the end of this lap and we'll see. I mean, he's 2/10 down, so it can't be that bad. It's not that bad of a spin, surely. We'll see. JJ, did he have a spin? Oh, he's not super bad. He's got a penalty there, though. That's not going to help. Luckily, Stu Shelton and Shark at the moment. Now, here's the thing. Shark is... it does. It happens... You say it happens to the best. The irony is, it absolutely does. The series that I do, that we're running at the weekend, it's a World Series, multiple lobbies. There's some of the drivers in there are not far off the pace of the World Tour. Absolutely phenomenal drivers we're talking about, particularly at the top end. We're talking drivers that are a few tenths off of making World Tour. And, you know, we've seen time and time again, one of these guys dominating a race miles ahead, 5-6 seconds ahead, and then making one little mistake at the end, and it's all gone horribly wrong. Easy enough to do. It may well do. We'll see though, because tyres are looking alright. I mean, I've got to see the tyres looking alright, but I want to see this because we've got this battle here. Now, Shark is what? So we were talking. The gap to JJ is not down to 9 seconds. Yeah, that was a bad lap from 35.0 for JJ. Dropped him right off the pace of those front two. And even now, Shake's got a little bit of breathing room. But it's a bit of a big task now. Shark's got 6 laps to catch Stu Shelton. And I don't think it'll be long before he does catch him. Albeit, you know, a mistake or tyres or whatever giving out. I don't think it's going to be long before he catches him. There's a battle there. I don't think there's enough time, though. Whatever sort of pace he's putting in there. He's in the mid-32s quite consistently. And JJ there, he's in the high 31s. So he's not likely to catch him anyway. What about Tino? Tino there, he's 3.5 behind Shark. But he, not quite as consistent, but he is dropping in those sub-32s in that Alpha 155. It's only 3.7 seconds. So I wouldn't be surprised if he is able to close on the back of Shark, particularly if he can stay. He did a 131.8. If he can stay low 32s while Shark is doing the mid 32s, potentially there's a battle on. Not guaranteed though. Jax at one stage was the fastest man on the racetrack. He's not anymore, but he is in those high 31s, low 32s. Again, potentially, there are some potential battles because you can kind of see them kind of working their way out. So we've got this one here, which I think is over now. I think that Shake now has kind of found his rhythm, man. And he is 2.2 seconds ahead of Dan. Dan's got some work to do now because he's lost that slipstream as well, which is all key in the 2 long straights, particularly the start-finish straight and going up the hill, of course. And he's still indicating a right. Does he indicate for every corner? Just to let everyone know. JJ off that pace now, but I think the top 3 are the top 3. Stu Shelton's going to be under pressure any time now from Shark. That's about to happen. Tino potentially going to be under some pressure from Jax. Baldrick, he's got a bit of breathing room from Vescu from Evil Cat from Edinburgh Landis. All very well spaced out at the back at the moment, so nothing else really doing there. So this is the battle we are watching at the moment, and this is the Aston Martin, the Mora Aston Martin, driven by Shark, chasing down Stu Shelton for 4th position. And he's closed that gap. It was at one stage, not long after the pit windows, it was down into the 4.5 seconds. Let's have a little look at, actually we'll wait for the overtake, or wait for at least an attempted overtake, and then we'll have a look at what they're doing tyres and fuel wise, because it may be that Stu is taking it easy, looking after his tyres, and Shark is pushing to get that position and takes more out than he wants. I've done it myself. I raced last Friday. I thought I was being smart by under fueling so I could fuel save. Ended up in a massive battle for 6th and ran out of fuel on the last lap and finished 12th. But in other news, here comes Shark now. He's getting ever closer, and you can see that he is just every corner he's nicking a 10th here and there over Stu Shelton ahead. Another 10th here, another 10th there. He's getting on that power that little bit sooner. He's getting on that brakes a little bit earlier. He's finding every apex, every little bit of extra time he can over Stu Shelton ahead. And he knows that he's ringing him in, but he's got to get in close soon, because we're on lap 26 of 30. If Stu holds out for a couple more laps, then tyres start to come into play. Handsome man, you may have been told it doesn't mean it's true. And you can this is where, I mean, you can see how many people have gone onto that left hand side and caught that. Yeah, did you? Sorry, my daughter's on some medication after her operations, just checking that she's had all of her medications. Yeah, quite a major operation. She's been in bed now for about 5 weeks since the Anyway, moving swiftly on. Yes, so Shark is really closing he's finding extra tenths every single corner. But if Stu can hold on and hold him off until sort of lap 28, then it becomes how easy it is to make the move. But as it happens, that's a moot point, because it looks like the Aston Martin, driven by Shark, is going to make a move. And actually, it made it look really, really easy in the end. A lot easier than it probably should have been. Right, this is where we're going to have a look at tyres and fuel. So that's how Shark's looking. He's got a little bit left in there. Fuel-wise, yes, certainly enough to make it to the end. What about Stu? Stu's in a better position slightly on tyres. It's only on the front tyres. Rear tyres, not so much in that Porsche Cayman. Maybe a bit of brake balance to even that out a little bit. But it looks like he might have to resign himself to 5th. It doesn't look like Tino. I mean, we're looking at what Stu's knocking out low to mid 33s. Tino, he's firmly in those low 33s, high 32s. So, some work to do. I don't think there's enough time for and his tyres are shot, or at least will be in a lap or two. So, it'll be a very, very difficult job for Tino to make that move into onto the back of Stu Shelton. So I think Stu Shelton should hold on for 5th. Jack's there, 1.1 seconds behind. He's looking pretty racy at the moment in that Corvette. Again, tyres might come into play. Sorry, bear with me. Sorry about that. Yeah, so Jack's running 1.3 behind. Yeah, sorry about that. My daughter's just issuing the door. Right, anyway, so he's really closed that gap on Tino. 8 tenths, 7 tenths. That clock is ticking down as he closes on the back of the Alpha 155, desperately trying to hold on. And we talked earlier about the deficit that this 155 has on the straights. It certainly will over the Corvette in a straight line. This Corvette is pretty darn quick. It's not going to have the same impact. You see, as they come out of the corner here, you can see the Alpha just manages to edge away, but as they get through that gear range, again you can see the Corvette closing. And we'll show here as we come into this long run up the hill. You'll see exactly what I mean. The Corvette getting a great run out there, but there goes the Alpha, starting to pull away, opening up that gap. You can see it there opening. They head into 5th gear, and this is where it'll all start to change. You can see the Corvette will start closing. Here we go as they get into that higher gear range, up towards the Alpha. The Alpha's still holding on into the chicane. You can really see it. He's got to be clever here, Jax. He's got to use that high rev advantage when he's got it to close on the Alpha, and hope that Tino makes a mistake at some point, because it's going to be difficult. Here we're at lap 28 of 30. On to lap 29, 2 laps here remain. If you didn't know where we were, where the bloody hell have you been all our life? This is the ZFS Racing World Series Season 4. This is round 1, lobby 1. Massive dive up the inside. That was brave, but could have gone horribly wrong. Worked absolutely not one jot. He's going to have another go up the inside here. A little bit early to make the move. I think he might have been better off. I think Jax is fully aware of his tyres, and fully aware that they could cause him a problem in a lap, or certainly on the last lap, and he wants to get this move done before they become a problem. The Alpha 155 tried desperately to hold him off. He knows he couldn't cut him off there. He'd already got up the inside. Inside goes the Corvette. How long can he hold on? Can Tino come back at him? Their tyres are shot for both of them. Tino now up the inside, going to make the move. Can't hold on. He doesn't have that grip in the 4x4 anymore. He is so tight on the back of the Corvette now. Up the hill they go. You'll see he'll close. Oh, we've lost someone from the room. What happened there? We'll have a look in a second. We can see what happened. It's Tiger disappearing. Does that just happen? Right, so here we go, and we're on to the last lap of the race. The Alpha 155 still on the back of Jax's Corvette. Round this last corner we go, running down the hill. This is going to really be his last opportunity. If he can make the move to turn one, he might be able to hold this off, but they're both on really, really worn tyres. Last lap for every single driver. There is Sheikh Djibouti, well in the lead now, 4.5 seconds clear, and I think this is his race to lose now. 31.7 being the fastest lap as well, which will certainly earn him a bit of kudos as well. Amsterdam, he is 4.5 seconds behind Sheikh Djibouti, 2 seconds clear of JJ. His tyres are gone, his fuel is looking ropey, but I don't think JJ's got enough corners left to catch him. Shark there in fourth, Stu Shelton holding on for fifth. Jackson Tino, that battle's still raging, but I don't think Tino's got enough in the tyres to catch him. He's certainly not going to give it up at any time shortly. But round the final chicane we go, and it's Sheikh Djibouti from Greece. He's holding everyone off. He's absolutely dominated today. He led for most of this race, lost out towards the pit window, but got that back and never looked back since. And here he goes across the line, predicted to come first, and first he is across the line. 4 seconds clear. Amsterdam comes home in second. JJ home in third. Fourth is Shark. Great move on Stu Shelton a couple of laps ago. Gets him up into fourth place. But Stu Shelton is coming back at him round the last corner. It's not going to happen for him. But Shark crossed that line in fourth. Stu Shelton in fifth. Jax 6.9 seconds back. That's the battle. Is Tino going to make it? They're going side by side, heading to the line, and the drag race just lost out. Nothing in it between Jax and Tino. Vescu in 8th position. 16 seconds back, so a little bit of time for the Finn driver behind Tino. But what a great battle between Tino and Jax towards the end there. And across he comes, Baldrick in 9th place. Evil Cat, 8.3 seconds behind Baldrick in 10th position. There he finishes there, and it'll be Edinburgh Lad in 11th. Crazy Taff finishing a lap back in 12th position. But what an amazing race that was for the first round here in this World Series. And I've got to say, there's some great battles on the racetrack, and it looks like Sheikh Djibouti is going to be the one to beat for this season. So there we have it. Sheikh Djibouti was your winner today. We'll just go through the classified rundown very quickly. The AMG's dominating here at Nürburgring, with Sheikh Djibouti, Amsterdam and JJ taking those top 3 spots. Shark from Stu Shelton, Jackson Tino drag racing it to the line in the Corvette and the 155 respectively. Another Corvette in Vescu finishing in 8th position. It was Baldrick in that V8 Vantage finishing in 9th, with Evil Cat and Edinburgh Lad and Crazy Taff again in those AMGs. 10th, 11th, 12th, 10th, 11th and 12th, and 13th was Zuntis in the Veron, who is a DNF relatively early on. So not a bad start to the series. We will be back, of course, next week for more action. Don't forget to click the like button to share it to your friends. And, of course, you're already subscribed because you're watching. If you've been watching Lobby 1, jump across now and watch the race from Lobby 2. If you have watched the Lobby 2 and you've just got here, go back to the beginning and watch this. I've been Urban Pirate. This has been Black Flag Racing TV with ZFS Racing, and it's been emotional.